From playoff drivers having horrible days to Eric Jones going to victory lane, there is loads to talk about after the playoff opener from Darlington. Cue the intro, let's get into it. Hello everyone and welcome back to another video. My name is Cameron Simpson and NASCAR just wrapped up their race at Darlington, which was a very interesting, exciting race that brought plenty of action and playoff driver struggles to the forefront, because this race absolutely delivered on almost every single piece to the puzzle, and there was a lot to get to. There's a lot to talk about. We will look at the round of 16 playoff standings, see who fares where and how everyone is, but for the most part, we're going to talk about today's race and put it on the spectrum. So first off foremost, playoff drivers having horrendous days today, and it starts with, I would say, Chase Elliott, a guy who came in this race with a big points cushion, leaves this race with only 14 points to the good. And what a horrible day. I mean, I can't sugarcoat it at all. It was a terrible day for the driver of the 9 car today, and he falls way off after having a crash and not been able to do it in the damage repair clock. He wasn't able to get it done fast enough, and because of that, he wasn't able to continue on. I think he finished dead last in today's race, which dropped him plenty of points, and not good, not very good at all. And it continues for another playoff driver, that being Kevin Harvick, who now finds himself below the cut line. We'll talk about all that in a little while. After he was involved in a crash that, what can you do, right? That's like, what can you do about it? There's really nothing. His car caught on fire, and he had some great words to say when talking about his car catching on fire. He talked about how the parts are just not good parts. They're you-know-what parts. It's not a great race. Action on track, just it wasn't good. That's what he kind of was alluding to, that the parts we're buying are causing the cars to start on fire. And this is a new issue late in the season that NASCAR's had to deal with. The cars starting on fire. It hasn't been a thing of the present. It's been a thing a while back. This is the first time they've had to deal with this type of issue of cars starting on fire. But nevertheless, it is still an issue that becomes the forefront of all of this. And it stinks, obviously, because, I mean, what are we going to do? I mean, cars are starting on fire. Next Gen car was mainly computer-based testing. You know, it's finally getting put out into the world, and it's just maybe a little bit failing. I will say maybe it's a tad bit failing this year with the cars and the safety and all that on that front. I mean, we've talked about it in the past. Driver safety, I talked about in my last video. Safety is NASCAR's obviously #1 priority. But they seem to be kind of falling away from that, and that stinks. And then obviously Kyle Busch had his issue today as well, where he blew an engine after his teammate blew an engine under caution in the lead. Oh my god. Those of you that don't know, Kyle Busch fan. I know we have a lot of new people on this channel. Actually, a lot of you who aren't subscribed, so maybe you should subscribe. Anyway, just kidding around about that. But anyway, Kyle Busch could have won this race. I think he had the best car in the field after the 19 car got eliminated. I think he could have held off his teammate. I think he could have won this race, and I'm very disappointed. I mean, I'm very disappointed because now he finds himself in a really bad points position when he was in a really good points position before finishing below 20th. And that is terrible. Obviously, I want to see Kyle win, but I want to see him run well. And right now, it's really just neither's happening. It's the bad luck for that 18 team. It's bad luck all around. They run well, and then they just engine failure. No fault of their own, engine failure. Does this have something to do with the NASCAR parts? I doubt it. I think it's just an unlucky engine failure. It happens a lot. Car started smoking. They had to pull it behind the wall. Same thing happened with his Toyota teammate. So it's a tough pill to swallow. But there's 2 good tracks for us 18 fans coming up for him. Kansas, I argue he should have won. And then Bristol, where he also probably should. He won, and it's one of his best tracks. So those are the 2 tracks we have coming up. I think we can win one of them. At least points ourselves in a great position. If we can run top 5, that's pointing ourselves well. We're not in must win. We just need to get good points, and that's kind of where I stand at this point. All right, let's go to the finishing results. All your playoff drivers in these finishing results highlighted in yellow today, but you can notice the first place driver did not win today. A playoff driver did not win today. Eric Jones, Petty GMS, I want to say his first time in 8 years, something like that. Last time was Eric Amarola in a rain delay race, I believe. So, wow, incredible for Petty GMS and Richard Petty to win and head to victory lane. That's just insane. That's incredible for them and that team in a historic way. Go to victory lane again. The team is such a important part of NASCAR, very historic part of NASCAR, and they are able to go out and win this race. It was awesome to see. And Eric Jones, of course, is a guy who runs extremely well at this track all the time. He is not a fluke at this racetrack. Eric Jones runs well here all the time. He's very good at this track, and he continues to be. So, I mean, kudos to him, kudos to his team. I think they've done a great job. I think they continue to prove that they are well off, and they are doing good. I think they continue to prove that as a team. And Eric Jones, it's not a fluke. They've had speed all season, and were able to take advantage of that speed today and go to first place and take the win. So that was good for them and their team. Denny Hamlin was your top finishing playoff driver today. Actually, one more thing on Eric Jones. He was the first ever driver since, I want to say, since the chase started in 2004 to win and be a non-playoff driver. So that was a big deal there. All right, Hamlin finished in second, Tyler Reddick in third. A lot of people talking about Tyler Reddick to potentially win the championship. I didn't have him on my picks, but he is a sleeper, and I wouldn't be shocked to see him make a deep playoff run. So I wouldn't count out Tyler Reddick. Joey Logano in fourth, Christopher Bell in fifth. Michael McDowell had a good run. He finished sixth. Brad Keselowski as well in seventh. William Byron, finally, I talked about it on my Friday video, how William Byron was not even in the spectrum. He wasn't really even in the conversation as of late. Finally, top 8 finish for him. Bubba finished ninth. Alex Bowman with the top 10. Eric Almirola in 11th. Kyle Larson in 12th. He came back to get a decent finish today, which was good. Cole Custer in 14th. And Ty Gibbs in the 23 car today finished 15th. All right, some notable finishers outside. Obviously, your playoff drivers. Austin Cindric finished 16th. Ty Dillon 17th. Suarez 18th. Ross Chastain had a rough day. He finished 20th. More playoff drivers. Chase Briscoe in 27th. Kyle Busch had that engine failure, finished 30th. Harvick 33rd. Chase Elliott dead last with his problems with the damaged vehicle policy. And another notable, Martin Truex Jr. had a water pump issue. He finished 31st. I have to feel very bad for him because of just the season that they are having is just terrible. It's really, really terrible, and I feel bad for that team because I think they should be doing better, and I think they should have won today's race as well. All right, now let's take a look at the playoff standings. Nobody locked in yet, and really, nobody is still safe. It's still a very tight-knit race. Joey Logano takes control of first place in the standings, 38-point cushion. He's got a good gap, but we can see what those gaps can do. What happened to the 9 car. Those gaps can blink of an eye disappear. William Byron in second, he has a good points gap, and Denny Hamlin in third, so on and so forth. You can kind of see these guys, but I don't think anyone's safe. And when we look closer to the bubble, Kevin Harvick, 13 points to the bad. He's 13 points against what he wants to be in this top 12. He is potentially going to be eliminated. Chase Briscoe as well. Not really good day. Austin Dillon, didn't expect anything out of him this week. He's 2 back. And Daniel Suarez is 2 back as well. Kyle Busch has a pretty good gap to that bubble. 8 points, but that's not much. After having such a good day for him, you'd think he would have more. He's in danger zone. Alex Bowman, danger zone. And Chase Elliott, only 14 points to the good. It's more comfortable than Kyle Busch and Alex Bowman. But I hate to say it, Chase Elliott fans, he is not in a comfortable spot at all right now. So I would be nervous looking into these next couple weeks. Kansas, Bristol? Chase does good at Bristol. Kansas, I think he will do fine. Like, I have Chase going to the Final Four. So I think he'll do fine. I really do. Alright, anyway, that is my playoff reactions right now. Those are your round of 16 points as they stand. Let's talk about Darlington as a whole. Darlington race has been a staple in NASCAR. The Southern 500, the Lady in Black, where it's the hardest racetrack, the most grueling night you could ever face. It's hard on your equipment. It's hard on the drivers. It's hard on the crews. It's hard on everybody. And I think tonight lived up to that. You saw the cars at the break-in point. You know, cars having engine problems. Playoff drivers that can't afford to make a mistake, making a mistake and find themselves in a very precarious playoff position. You have drivers who do very well, drivers that aren't doing very well. And so that's always great. And it's a great way to kick off the playoffs because this is how it's going to be for the next 9 weeks. The next 9 weeks it's going to be like this. And you know, I thought for a guy like Kyle Busch, I mean, we know an announcement's coming, maybe stuff we're getting off of his shoulders. Bam, the bad luck continues. A guy like Martin Truex Jr., not even in the playoffs, just wants to get a darn win. He's had such an amazing season. Can't even do that. You know what I mean? So it's tough, and I think for most of these playoff drivers, it's going to be the hardest race of these playoffs. One of the hardest races of these playoffs. I think the rest of this round is easy. It's Bristol and Kansas. Don't wreck, stay in contention, finish top 5. Then you're in a good spot. After that, though, you got guys like Kevin Harvick now who need to start making up points. And he did win at a short track. He has won at Bristol before. So keep that in mind, too. Anyway, let's get into putting this gas and hit the brakes or hit the gas. I thought this was a good race. I thought it brought a lot of discussion. Thought it brought a lot for us to talk about. And I thought it brought a lot of excitement. And it lived up to what it was. It's always hard to pass at Darlington. I hate tracks like that when it's hard to pass. And there was moments where there was going to be no passing. But I don't think the leader got really that far away from second place that much today. So I'm going to give this race a hit the gas, and I'm going to give it a B. I thought it was fine. I thought it was exciting. I thought it was interesting. And I enjoyed this race, this racing, probably as much as you guys enjoyed today's racing. Okay, that's it for me. Thank you so much for watching today's video. Hopefully you enjoyed it. If you did, hit that like button. NFL, I'll have a live stream on Thursday to get us ready for the NFL season. All right, until then, peace out.